Now that we've got our boots and chest armor, the most awkward slots, we're going to look for helmets and gloves. If you're playing a non-attack build like Spark just here, but gloves are easy. If you're playing an attack build, you want to start getting DPS on your gloves, and that can be a little rough. Did I miss a jewel, did I? Oh, there's one here as well, lightning res. There we go. That explains, yeah, our lightning res should be very low at the moment, so that gets rid of that. Thank you. So now we're going to look for some cheap, high resistance gloves, I think. That's what we're gonna go for, so we can bring up gloves on here as well. Doesn't matter which base, really. Max life roll is only 89, so we're not too fussed if we get like 40, 50 life gloves. We want high resistances. So that's what we're gonna be looking for. So we're gonna be looking for gloves. Now we wanna start paying a bit more attention. We have a blue and an evasion. The chest is fine because that's our main links. We have our boots just here, which are pure energy shield. So in that one, we're like paying attention to our gems. We're going to be putting something like our Vile Spark setup in there, maybe. That's like 1 green, or maybe even just like our kind of like one of our general like what do we got here? Some auras and things like that. We shouldn't have too much trouble. We've got a lot of blues here, right, that we can put in there potentially. So the main thing we're going to have problems with is green and reds. You can get a little bit of those in wands, but you want to preferably not do that because it can chew up your chromes a bit if you need to try and get like 2 red on your wand or something. So we're going to try and deal with that. So we're going to look for ones with armor here, and we'll see how we start off just there. Obviously, we're going to remove the move speed and put in gloves. We'll start with armor. This will give us armor and armor energy shield. Armor evasion is fine too, so I'm going to leave all these other ones open. If we get any of those, it's fine. Just preferably something with a slight armor bias. So we're going to leave this at only 40 life, nice and low, but we're going to put the max, we're going to put the total resist up a bit higher. So we'll start with 60 and see where that puts us. We have 65 total resist, 68, where we are looking for lightning. This one has a pretty high lightning roll. The life total is a little low for sure. This one actually has very high lightning with very high life as well. The fire res is a bit low, but it can't be mastercrafted because of the life regen, unfortunately. Let's see what other options we have first. I might be willing to spend a chaos on these to get some good resistances, if we can. That's a prefix, so we could mastercraft a 3rd resistance on this one for 1 chaos. Those are pretty good, so I'll go ahead and highlight those. We may come back to those. Reduced attributes being a suffix means we can't mastercraft resists on there. Strength is a suffix as well. That's kind of a nice pair, but we do need to start paying attention to our lightning res. Looking here again, we're like getting okay for fire and cold, but lightning is definitely concerning us a bit. So we're looking at 30 here with strength. Stun recovery, I'm pretty sure is a suffix. Is it actually not a suffix? Oh, that might be the hybrid. There's a hybrid affix that looks like 2. This could actually have 3 prefixes. I think it might have an armor evasion and then an armor evasion plus stun recovery. I'm pretty sure there's not a stun recovery suffix, is there? Yeah, there's no stun recovery suffix. Increased armor, stun recovery, and then they probably have an armor evasion one there as well. So this one here is pretty good. Decent cold. Wait, no, where was it? It's not that good anyway. We'll skip that one. This one here is pretty damn nice. That's a good 44 lightning res roll, which is about as high as you're going to be getting at this point until you're getting much higher items. Because look, item level 72 is 44. We can mastercraft another suffix on there as well. I think those might be our gloves. Life roll could be a little higher, but those are really good resistances, and that's the most important thing at this point. All right, I think we're gonna get those. We could keep searching, but that's a pretty good find. All right, please don't be offline. I think this one's reasonable to spend a chaos on here. You'll find that most of our items that we're going to be buying, just because of the sheer number of items we have to buy, right, are going to be 1 to half a C. That's what we're going to be getting here. Not really going to be getting anything more expensive. In before, player not logged on. This guy is not... He's not offline, but he could be AFK. If they don't respond, you can go, who is? And then you can see what they're doing. He's currently in his hideout, so he could just be AFK at the moment. Why have Blink Arrow in your budget version of the gear if you're going to use wands? That's a good point. Oops. That one actually won't even be going in there, so this is going to be a wand setup. Good point. That was actually for my bow setup, so we don't need that in this build at all. So it doesn't really matter what colors we get here. Looks like this guy might be AFK. We'll message him once more just to make sure. Oh, here he is. Good stuff. I was a little worried for a second that we weren't going to get him. We would have been able to find another pair of gloves though. there was quite a few around what we were looking for, so we actually had a lot of choices. That's the one. And we'll go ahead and mastercraft this now. If we had a choice, again, like with our chest, so if this was only lightning res, if we had a choice of fire or cold, we would wait until the end. Mastercraft at the end if you have a choice. But if you have it now, we can just do it right now, and it'll make it easier to gear. Yes, and thank you. You're on YouTube, smile. And stream, okay. So we're gonna grab our cold res now, another 6 augments. Very good, 24 is a pretty good roll. Easy peasy. So now we have life tri-res, pretty decent total resistances for 1 chaos. That was nice, that was a nice buy for sure. So we're looking pretty good. We're close to capped cold resistance now. We're gonna accidentally get capped now, basically, with the rest of the gear on get. We'd actually have to try pretty hard to not get capped with implicits from rings and random stuff on belts, helmets, maybe even jewels. We're not going to have a hard time getting capped. We definitely need a good chunk more lightning res though, and fire's going to be pretty close to being accidentally capped as well. So at this point we want to start prioritizing life a little bit more as well, I'm thinking now. So on a helmet, I'm going to try and get a higher life total because we want to try and make sure we have a decent amount of life here. So far we're doing pretty well. 91, 48, 45, those are okay. 91's pretty good. We can get like a higher life roll here on our helmet. And from memory, I think helmets can roll a bit higher too. Let's have a look. Helmets can roll up to 99 for item level 64, which is not hard to obtain at all. So it wouldn't be too hard to get like an 80-ish helmet here, I think. So that's what we're going to look for. Now we have our cast and damage taken set up here. We could put that in that full link. Otherwise, we could do it in our helmet as well. So, and I don't mind getting some extra armor if we... I might search for like an armor ES helmet most likely. We'll put in the armor point again, and we'll just search for it that way. I'm going to put my life total up to 55. And we'll bring the resistance total down to 40. We don't need quite as high resistances anymore. We'll be getting a lot of life on our belt, and belt is a primary life category, so we'll be getting that a little bit later. It's nice if you can get good resists elsewhere, and then just focus on getting a high life belt. Though, sometimes you're competing with like Righteous Fire builds to get those. What do we have? Right off the bat, I see quite a nice fire cold life helmet just here. It is armor. It is an armor base. That's fine. Only 1 socket though, but this is quite a nice one right off the bat. It's giving us the fire and cold we need. Pretty good life total. Oh, it's lightning that I need, not cold. I just realized I was looking at cold thinking it was lightning for some reason. We're actually good on cold. It's lightning that we want more of. See if there's any fire lightning ones I really like. This one's okay-ish. Nothing too amazing. This one here is actually a pretty... Oh, that might be too good a helmet to pass up. Even though we don't need so much cold, that'll give us overcap on cold and we can just ignore cold from here on out. That has amazing lightning and like I can handle the slightly lower life roll for 5 ults. I think we might actually get that one. And it's got... We shouldn't be undervaluing armor as well, and that's actually got 300 armor, which is going to make a difference. I might actually go for this one. So out of our ult, that only eats into our ult stack a little bit. Which if we even if we had spent like 10 to 15 ults getting this chest, then we would probably still have five ults left from our stack of alterations. You sell rares that you find while leveling, you'll end up with a stack of alterations by the time you reach 60. It's very good for 5 alterations. Let's just check if his name is also a pretty dank meme too. He is in his hideout at the moment. We'll give him a moment and see if we can't trade there. Alright, looks like this guy might be fully AFK. Yeah, he just went AFK, so he's been away from his keyboard a bit. We could wait for a while, and I think that's what we're going to do. We'll move on to the next item a bit, keeping in mind that we're probably going to get this one or something similar-ish. We're going to wait because it's a really good bargain, so what we'll do is we'll open a new PoE trade, and we'll get to work on our next... We'll work on something that's not going to affect our resistance totals, since we won't get that item equipped first. We could just math it, but we don't know we're going to get that item. So maybe we'll work on one of our weapons now, since we're not going to be worrying about resists on our weapons. There's an order, like I'm doing this in a specific order, right? Going chest, boots, gloves, helm. Well, gloves and helm at the same time, they don't matter. But chest, boots, gloves and helm together, and then going into like your weapons and jewelry and such. And there's a reason for that order, is because that's kind of like... I guess it's the most efficient order in which to gear to be able to make sure that you're getting resistances as cheaply as possible. If you go in a different order, then you run the risk of having to get resistances on an item that they're much more expensive to get on. Like, if you need to get 80 resists on your boots, then you're going to be, like, spending a lot more money than you had to be. So that's why we're going in the specific order we're going in. Hey! Helmet guy's here, hey! Sorry, someone else paid me for it to it. Can I get it? Or did they buy it? They bought it already. Ah, okay. Thanks. Damn. Someone else bought it. This one here is also really... This is the same guy again. Didn't he already sell this helmet? I think that was the one he sold. I don't know. Okay, this is a different one. It's High Life. It's the same guy, different helmet though. Alright, we'll get this one. The other one was like 5 volts. Okay, let's try and get this if we can. Different helm this time. we're having this like long running dramatic story with this guy. Cuck my shit up, fam. Yay! There we go. Alright, we bought a helmet off the same guy from before. Alright, this'll do. This helmet will do. We don't need to be as picky as I've been. I'm being overly picky, but we really don't need to be. Oops, I didn't actually check if that was the helmet. Yeah, it was the helmet. There we go. We got a helmet off the guy. Good stuff. This one cannot be crafted at all, so we just leave it as is. But it had good life, had the fire res we needed. Our fire res is now overcapped. So we're just looking to get a little bit of cold and lightning. The remaining cold and lightning we have to get to capped, we could be done with 2 stone ring.